Alright, so in this video coming up, I might have actually just exposed one of the best business models that people are still starting, still making very good money off, especially now that AI is going completely crazy. It is unlike these other, channels promoting these dropshipping things, trading things, also affiliate marketing. This is actually something that is thriving even more in recent times, considering how good AI has become. So just to give you a very practical example and actually prove that I am someone who does this myself, this is one of the channels that I started approximately 2 years ago. It's got over 324,000 subscribers, almost $100,000 in just purely YouTube ad revenue. Now keep in mind, if you have seen this channel before, you're free to, by the way, go look up this channel now if you want to. But this channel is actually educational. So the real revenue and the real money that this channel generates lies in the back-end products like selling digital product asset packets, affiliate marketing, recommending people to different websites and tools. Also sponsorships pay me a lot. I get paid over $10,000 to just post a single video about a brand on this channel. Also, I have started a paid community from this channel that was a very big success until I did decide to close it down. So this is just a very clear example that this business model still works. It is not outdated. It is not saturated. I'm still having hundreds of students that are getting super good results. I'm just saying this to prove that this is something that is still working. It is not something saturated like dropshipping, like all of these other things that are super hard to get into. Like this channel is a prime example. It's getting 34,000 views just in the last 48 hours. That would be around 100,000 views every three days. It's still as active as ever and getting all of this traffic, selling all of these products. It's something that is working right now. But instead of just sitting here talking about my results, in this video I will actually teach you how YouTube automation with AI works, how you can get started with your own channel, but most importantly, how to get paid more than everything else. Because if you just apply these rather easy tricks, you can change the course of your entire journey from being paid quite little from your views to being paid large amounts of money with less effort. And these are things that just completely go over people's heads. There are not really too many people that want to highlight this, since it is, of course, a competitive advantage. But I'm going to share all of that in this video, so make sure to continue watching. I'm also going to give you some different niches where people are getting really good results, just to further prove my point. And I'm also going to show you how to create the actual content. Just a very quick rundown of how people are using AI to pretty much surpass their competitors that are still doing all of this manually very fast. But first up, you need to understand how the business model works. And I've tried to make a very dummy-proof illustration here of how it works. So you have your average Joe here who just goes onto YouTube to watch some kind of content. He finds my video here that I posted on my channel and he clicks on it. But before he actually gets to the video, he gets to the regular ad that you see on YouTube, like the unskippable ads, also ads that you can skip. YouTube displays this ad to him before he gets to the video. And when YouTube displays an ad, that is of course a brand that pays YouTube in order to get their product and their service visible to Joe here who is watching the video. And the way that RPMs work and the way that you actually earn money from someone watching the ad before they get to your video is that YouTube actually splits that revenue with you. So the deal is, when you sign up to the YouTube Partner Program, the deal is that you take 45% of the revenue that is generated by the ads and YouTube takes 55% of the revenue. So a very important thing to note here, and this also goes into how you can earn a lot more money than almost everyone else who posts YouTube content, is that there are two things that make a very big difference to how much you will be paid and what kind of RPM or revenue per mil that you'll get. So RPM pretty much means the amount that you'll be paid per 1,000 views. If I were to have let's actually go back to my channel here. If I were to have a revenue, an average RPM of $7, that means that I earn $7 per 1,000 views on average that I get on my channel. So I get 10,000 views on a video, I earn $70 by YouTube ad revenue. It is that simple. Now, the 2 tips that you need to implement into your channel and you need to keep in mind when you're actually looking for niches, this is going to be very relevant going on into this video. The 2 things that you need to have in mind is that, first of all, a higher age demographic means a higher RPM. Because if we go back to thinking about how all of this works, the person who watches your video, they are the ones being shown the ad. So if you would compare Joe here, who is, let's say, a 40-year-old male, to this girl called Amanda, who is 10 years old, who will have more money to spend on products and who will be more likely to convert into a purchase? Of course, it is Joe. So if you have an audience of your channel that is 40-year-old males, YouTube will pay you a higher RPM. They will pay you more per 1,000 views, because the brands who are looking to show their ads for Joe here, who's a very he's a guy that really likes to purchase things in his age, they will pay more to YouTube in order to make that happen. So having a older audience, males or females, doesn't really matter too much, but having a older demographic and people that watches your content, it will make your RPM a lot higher than if you made kids content, for example. So all of these kids channels and creators on YouTube that might tell you to get into kids content because you're getting millions and millions of views, it might not always be the better choice, because even a channel getting a 10th of the views that a kids channel is getting with the average Joe audience, they will earn more money. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Now, the second tip kind of goes hand in hand, but this will still make a very large difference to your RPM, and that is that US-based viewers, or generally just viewers from Western countries, not third world countries, they will increase your RPM so much you can't even imagine it. So if we were to compare for example, I'm not trying to be racist or anything here, but a audience from India, for example, they would significantly lower your RPM in relation to a audience from the US. This is due to the exact same reason. People from India, they generally do not have as much money as US people, simply due to just standard economics, right? So they will be way less likely to convert for an ad that they're being shown to, while this guy from the US will be way more likely to purchase what he's seeing, since he has more money. So YouTube will pay you a higher RPM for having a US audience. And sorry, just so you can see what I've written here, it was higher age demographic means a higher RPM, and of course US based viewers means a higher RPM. Now, why this is important and why this makes a lot of sense, here are some niches that are actually, these are a picture perfect example of YouTube automation. You can see here's a channel called MotorVault. They've got 2,000 subscribers. They've kind of quit posting since they didn't get good enough results, but it was such a picture perfect example of what YouTube automation is, so I just had to show it. Now, their most viewed video is this one about top 20 muscle cars that changed America forever. And why this is relevant to what I just said is that if you think about it, muscle cars, that is a very common American interest. The rest of the world, they might be interested in muscle cars, but they don't really care as much as Americans do. So it's going to attract a very big American viewership. And then secondly, they of course have America in the title, so more Americans will be drawn to watch that kind of content. So this channel, what they are doing, they are attracting a very clear US audience, and that is not by mistake. That is because, cars, muscle cars, everything that has to do with America, it will generate them a much higher RPM, making their content so much more profitable. So they could get 347,000 views with an Indian audience, and they will not earn that much money. But if they get the same amount of views on the same type of video, but have US viewers, they'll probably earn like 5 or 10x the amount of money that they would otherwise. Now the same goes for these channels. This is a channel about basketball. It has slightly more a branded feeling and personality, but it is about basketball, and of course one of the biggest sports, if not the biggest, I'm not really sure, in the US is basketball. So just by having a channel about basketball, will naturally attract US viewers, and that will give you a higher RPM. So when you actually search for niches on YouTube and decide what you want to create, you should always have in mind what kind of audience does this kind of content attract. If you make kids videos, you will only get young viewers, and that will make a huge difference to your RPM. Same goes for this one. This is actually a slightly lower quality channel, and with the new AI policies, this type of content can get affected. I'm not saying it will, but I'm actually going to post a more in-depth breakdown of AI content policies coming up. So if you want to say that, drop a comment. But this is also a channel that utilizes the things that I just told you perfectly. So if you think about it, they're making kind of these health tips videos for seniors. And what I just mentioned before is that older people who, if you have an older audience, your RPM will be higher. That is why, you know, this channel is just about senior foods and stuff. You can also see that the packaging that they have decided to go with is also more adapted for seniors. They're showing some kind of trustable doctor here in the content or in the thumbnail, and there's just text. So seniors will be more likely to click on this, and they will get a much higher RPM than they would have otherwise. Now, not to make this too long, but how do you actually create the content? I'm gonna try to keep this very short. I have multiple tutorials on the channel going over this as well. But let's actually just take a look at, for example, you know, the top 20 muscle cars that changed America forever video, and just see how the content is made.
They've been icons. They represent the spirit of American engineering and the thrill of speed, and their impact on both the automotive industry and pop culture cannot be overstated. From their roaring engines to their bold, aggressive...
So, as you can see, the content is very low effort. And when it comes to YouTube automation, almost every single video is made up of 4 components, and that is the script. First of all, a script could look like this. This is actually a script from How to AI that I just had pulled up here. A script, which is just a Google document, literally, you know, with what the voiceover should say. So you have the script, you have the voiceover that speaks during the video, the voice that you heard. You have an editor putting together the script, voiceover, and some visuals to make the actual video that people are watching. And then you have the thumbnail, which is what you have right here, the picture that you see on the YouTube platform, and that kind of reels people into your video. Now that we are here, if we actually take a look at a video from this basketball channel, you will see that the videos are the exact same composition. They also have the script, voiceover, editing, and just the thumbnail. You can see it here. I'll take a quick look, but keep in mind of these 4 things, and you'll see that it's the exact same way.
What if I told you that one of the best dunkers in NBA history is someone almost everyone forgot about? A player so athletic and...
You can see it's the exact same thing, but the script is about basketball and the videos being shown is basketball. If you go onto the health channel and just watch a video.
You've just woken up, still cozy in bed, when without warning, a sudden dizzy spell hits. Your vision blurs.
Okay, so you can see that this channel actually has a little bit different approach in how the, you know, visuals look, and that is simply because the objective of the channel is targeting, you know, elders and seniors, so they don't have to have the same, you know, intense appeal as all of this other content has. Still though, it is like the composition is the exact same. They have made a script beforehand about something about stroke risk. They have made the AI voiceover. If we listen real quick.
Balance feels off.
They have then put this all together with the editing into this kind of slideshow type presentation, and then they have the thumbnail. This doctor here, this is not an AI avatar, or it might actually be an AI avatar, but it's not correlated to what is being said. You'll see that if you go and watch this video, it does not even match the voice. So they just put something there just to make it seem more believable, because seniors, if you're really old, they won't really be able to tell that what he's saying doesn't, you know, match the lip sync of the voiceover. So it's a quite weird channel, but obviously it works. And let's actually go onto this channel and just see how much money these guys are in general earning. So they have a little bit fallen off lately. You can see that they are not getting that many views. But considering the fact that they're making so long videos, you know, some of them being an hour in length, some of them being 20 minutes, some of them being, yeah, that's kind of the length that they go for. They're not getting that many views, but they're posting very often. If we just use the Chrome extension here to see the analytics. By the way, if you want to get this same extension, it's called NextLev. It's very convenient. You definitely do not have to get it. It's just a convenience. Use the code HowToAI2 since you'll get some kind of discount. I usually promote that on HowToAI, but I thought I'd mention it. But if we look at the revenue, $25,000 in the last 28 days from just not even getting many views and posting super silly content on a daily basis. They're making 25 grand approximately. It's not super accurate, but it's definitely not less than 20K. So it just goes to show like they are making crazy money from not so much effort. Now, let's say you want to create a channel like this. You first off need a script. That is the first part of the process. How would you actually do it? So since all of these niches have the same composition, I'm just going to use a Stoic channel as an example. And this is simply due to the fact that when I do scripts for these very standard cash cow channels, there is a certain ChatGPT strategy that you can use for it, where you create your own custom GPT. It is a bit too long, so if you guys want me to, you know, show a video on how I create these custom GPTs for cash cow channels, simply drop a comment. If it gets enough replies and upvotes, I will create that video. But here you have a custom GPT made by me, as you can see, for Stoic scripts. So this is trained on the best performing Stoic videos on YouTube. That means that when I do want it to generate a script, it will simply, you know, make that script with all of the transcripts of the best performing videos in mind. And proven concept is something that you should always go for. A lot of people might say that, oh, something, or if you have a bunch of competition, it is saturated. When in reality, if you have a bunch of proven concept to go off, that is actually a very, very good thing, because people have already tested topics for you. They have already tested what performs well and what performs bad. So you can simply take the outliers that have gone viral and remake them yourself for your own channel. It is a very positive thing. But you have your custom GPT here that you've created, or you can also use AI tools like Claude. It's very good for scripts. I would simply, let's go on to Stoic Evolution here. Let's look at the most popular video, 1.6 million views. Let's look at the, or let's listen to the start here, how they do it.
We are told that we should be kind and put other people's needs ahead of our own. But does anyone tell us that being too kind and caring can be dangerous?
All right, AI slideshow channel, you can see it's the exact same as all the other examples. Script, voiceover, some kind of editing. This is more simple with just AI images being shown, and then the thumbnail. So let's take this proven concept as our video topic. I would just go over to my custom GPT and write, make a script on this topic, enter the topic, boom, send it. And in just a few seconds, it would generate a script for me. I might have to skip forward to when it's done. All right, so the full script is now done. And if you rewind back and listen to what they said in the beginning of the proven concept, you would hear that they said, you were taught to be kind, or everyone tells you to be kind. So this one is very similar to the proven concept, except I just entered one single prompt and the whole script is made simply due to me setting up this custom GPT. You can make longer scripts with this if you want to, although if you're looking to make these 1 hour videos and similar, based on the experience of my students and also me running some channels like that, Claude is actually a better alternative for generating super long bodies of text. The quality of Claude is not quite the same. It is not as good as ChatGPT scripts, but they can be made a lot longer, which might be beneficial to some of you. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But now we would have our script, perfect. Let's just copy the intro here. The way that you generate a voiceover with AI, either you can go on Fiverr and just find a voiceover artist. Sure, that's fine. Like here you have these guys. I've used Fiverr many times to find voiceover artists. But now considering that AI is so good, you don't really need any physical voiceover artists anymore. You can do it all with AI and it will sound as good, if not better, than normal voiceover artists. So the best site for this is called 11 Labs. I use this all the time myself. It is the cheapest site. It is the best site when it comes to voice quality. And yeah, like they're just so much ahead of every other app, so there's no reason not to use it. And I have chosen a voice here already. They have a library where you can just listen through a bunch of them and just listen to a quick snippet. I've already chosen a voice. This might not fit super well for the Stoic niche, since this was for a history channel, but let's just generate it to show how it works. So I would just paste in the script, maybe like this, just to keep it short. You were taught to be kind, to say yes when you want to say no. Let's just generate that and see how it sounds. Make sure that you actually do select the latest version of the 11 Labs model, like the 11v3 alpha, and then we can just generate it.
You were taught to be kind, to say yes when you want to say no, to smile when you feel like breaking, to help even when it costs you peace.
As you can hear, that sounds very good. I'm always amazed by these voiceovers, honestly, because to imagine that this is AI that just makes it up on the spot. It took me like 10 seconds to generate. The voice did actually fit quite well for the Stoic niche, believe it or not. But that is how you would do it. You would just paste in your script. A very good pro tip for you is that if you are facing or experiencing errors, or that the AI model kind of trips and says tone, adds a very weird tone to certain sentences, simply divide your script up into smaller paragraphs. If you consistently generate super long paragraphs and there's a small error when it goes through it, you'll have to regenerate the entire thing. But if you do just make it in smaller paragraphs, it will save you so much time with regenerations, and that will also save you a bunch of credits. So definitely do it that way. But now we would have the voiceover. I would just press the download button here that you can see. Download it, boom. And the last step for the actual video creation would just to find an editor who can do it for you. Usually when it comes to YouTube automation, you always work with third world country editors from Pakistan, India, Philippines. The salary expectations for them are generally lower if you compare to what a Western editor would want. That's just how the game works. You can definitely find Western editors, but as I said, you'd have to expect to pay more. And the way that you actually do find these editors efficiently, most guys on YouTube will just tell you go to Fiverr, make a search for video editor, and you'll find one. But in reality, all of these editors suck ass. They will be so bad, they will not be that reliable, and you'll just be disappointed and get higher rates than you would actually get otherwise. The method that pros use to find editors and to find freelancers overall, same could apply to script writers if you want to do that manually, and thumbnail designers, all of that stuff. We go through Discord communities that are niched for the type of task that we need. So I would need to find an editor. I would simply go over to this editor community called Video Editors. If you guys want me to send you the link to the community, let me know. But here you would just go into this large community. I think they got 72,000 members. You simply go onto the create a request channel and click paid request. This field will pop up. Sorry, you couldn't really see paid request here, but it's a button behind my webcam. You click on it, this would pop up. You simply enter the details about your project, like, hey, I'm looking to create a channel like this Stoic one here. Copy the link to a video. Just add that in the example URLs. Looking to create Stoic channel. Create Stoic channel. Perfect. You enter your budget. You can see here I've had some from before. A usual budget for, let's say, a 8-minute video would be probably, I'm not really sure, it really depends on the video quality, but let's say $30, $40. That's usual. Payment service, describe what you need. You just write if you need, advanced motion graphics, which is stuff moving around on the screen, custom animations, or if you just need stock footage, like the car channel here. They just put stock and online footage for like showing each clips for 3 or 4 seconds. And by the way, the reason why they are showing each clip for so short, even though it might be copyrighted footage, this will actually not affect the channel or the channel's ability to earn money within YouTube's partner program, because there is something called fair use. If you show clips for, let's actually count how many seconds this guy showed the clips. I'm just gonna remove the sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they show each clip from between 5 to 8 seconds, and that is for a very good reason, because they cannot get copyright strike or get in trouble with this kind of content if they are using fair use, which is, according to YouTube, a way that you uniquely can use copyrighted footage. So you need to add something unique to it, in this case the voiceover, and also him not showing them for too long, so he makes some kind of creation instead of just showing the same clip the entire video that might be copyrighted. So that is how you would find the editors. To be honest, the same really goes for thumbnail designers. You can make job posts for thumbnail designers here as well, or graphic designers. This community actually includes both of them. It is not only for video editors. And to be frank, like all professionals, including me, like this is the method that we use. I'm not sitting here to kind of throw you off in the wrong direction. This is what we do, what I do on a daily basis as well, to find editors. In my private community for the coaching, coaching students and stuff, we do have a private section where already vetted freelancers are, that you can be more confident with. So that's a bonus, I guess. And that kind of leads me into what we do offer for people that are more serious about getting started with YouTube automation. I'm not going to make this too long, but I've done YouTube for a very long time now. So what I have kind of transitioned into, apart from running my current channels, is also teaching people how to do the same. We've had people that have gotten monetized in just 2 or 3 videos, starting YouTube just 2 weeks ago, and already on track to making $6,000-$7,000 in their first 1 or 2 months on YouTube. I'm actually going to put a interview up in the top right corner of this video right now of one of our more recent students that have earned, I think it is $6,000 or $7,000 in his literal first 45 days on YouTube with a new channel that we started with him. It's very interesting for you to check out. But we will help you with everything that I've just talked about in this entire video. We will teach you how it is done in more detail. The niche, for example, I know that 99% of beginners, they don't know where to find a very good niche, like a niche that allows you to make over $20,000, like channels like this. We actually have a done for you niche service. So I work with coaches and partners that are making tens of thousands of dollars from YouTube every single month, and have done for years. And they, along with me, we help you and actually give you a niche that you can just plug and play and get started with immediately, so that we don't waste any time, with you and making the wrong mistake that might cost you a lot of time and money. So that's something that we've seen that is super, super appreciated. If you're interested, feel free to click in the link that I put in the description to apply. We only have a very limited amount of spots, since we don't take on everyone. We prioritize getting people results. So I cannot promise that you will be approved for the program, but of course shoot your shot and we'll hop on a call together if it seems like it is a great fit. So leave a comment if you want to see anything else about YouTube automation, and I'll see you in the next one.